I feel like at different points in everyone's lives, there are songs that we come across that just mean a lot to us because they express our hearts very clearly. And for those of us who don't write very well or aren't writers, or even who are writers but have never figured out or managed how to put their thoughts or feelings to words, it can be very helpful to be able to find just like a song or someone's poetry or a line in a book that expresses our feelings so clearly. And I think that's part of why it's so amazing and such an, I don't know, what would you call it? Such an absorbing thing, the way music and poetry and writing just draws you in and makes you want to just submerge yourself in it. Once, if you love music, you want to listen to it all the time. Reading, poetry, they're just things that absorb you and draw you in, and you're just captivated by them. And I think part of the reason is that through these mediums, we realize that we can connect with and that we feel the same things as other people. Not just that, but that other people feel the things we feel. And not just that it helps us not feel as alone, but it helps us understand ourselves when you're like, oh, this is what I was feeling, but there was someone else out there who was able to articulate it. And it's so crazy and it's so amazing when you are able to find a song that perfectly expresses those feelings to you. And I've had that happen for me on a couple of occasions, but there was a period of my life in which I had very serious and traumatic nightmares about things that I won't go into, but there was a song that I discovered that, or rather that I remembered that I used to have heard a lot but hadn't listened to in ages, and when I heard it, it so clearly explained my feelings that it felt like the song was meant for me at that moment. Like I could have written that song just as my prayers in the lyrics of someone else's song. And it was so amazing. I've sung this song multiple times on this channel, but the song is called Hello Lord by an artist named Sarah Groves, and it goes, Hello Lord, it's me, your child. I've had a few things on my mind. Right now I'm faced with big decisions, and I was wondering if you've got a minute, 'cause right now I don't hear so well. And I was wondering if you could speak up. I know that you tore the veil so I could sit with you in person and hear what you're saying, but right now I just can't hear you. I don't doubt your sovereignty, I doubt my own ability to hear what you're saying and to do the right thing. And I desperately want to do the right thing, but right now I don't hear it so well. I was wondering if you could speak up. I know that you tore the veil so I could sit with you in person and hear what you're saying, but right now I just can't hear you. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I think you are telling me to wait. So though patience has never been mine, Lord, I will wait to hear from you. 'Cause right now I don't hear so well. I was wondering if you could speak up. I know that you tore the veil so I could sit with you in person, hear what you're saying, but right now I think you're whispering. And something about those lyrics, just the idea of waiting to hear an answer to something that is deeply concerning you and that you can't understand. Just trying to wait patiently for it all to make sense is something that really resonated with me. And so for that period of my life, this song became something that I sang constantly to myself, just as this is my prayer. I'm waiting for answers. And I don't know when I'm going to get them. I don't know why things have to be this way, but I'm trying my best to wait patiently for all things to be revealed. And for that reason, that song meant a lot to me. And there have been other songs. Definitely weight loss and my image of myself has been something that for a lot of my life I struggled with, because not only did I deal with being overweight, and I'm still dealing with it, it's a process, but as a child for most of my life, I lived with a skin disease that just made me feel terrible and horrible and ugly. And I have distinct memories of just one moment in my life as a child where I saw a picture of myself, and my response to seeing it was to say, "Oh my goodness, I'm a monster." And when you view yourself in that way, it's really hard. And I think everyone wants to be able to love themselves and feel beautiful and be beautiful, but there are so many things that we do and force ourselves to do to try to achieve that goal that just aren't healthy. And it seems ridiculous to people from the outside, but from the inside you realize that you feel desperate. If you hate yourself this much, then you feel that it's the only way that you can get relief from these feelings you have against yourself. And there was a time when I was definitely starving myself to try to lose weight on multiple occasions, actually. And no part of me really believed that it was a good thing, but at the same time, it made me feel better to think that the less I ate, the more chance I would have of actually losing weight and becoming someone that I could love and value. And as much of a lie as that was, it's something that so many people believe and do, that when you think about it, it's not that surprising. But when I first heard a song by an artist or band called Beach Bunny that was called Prom Queen, it really stood out to me because it expressed my exact feelings. And I'm not going to sing the whole song, but the very first lines of the song go, "Shut up, count your calories. I never looked good in mom jeans. Wish I was like you, blue-eyed blondies, perfect bodies." And just the mindset that we teach our bodies to ignore our feelings and do whatever it takes to become what we want ourselves to be, is such a hard thing to accept, but it's something that so many of us will just do because we can't make ourselves do anything else. And not that it's ever a good thing, but to know that other people understand what you're going through. They see this and they don't just think you're ridiculous or crazy or think it's stupid and can't understand why you can't just convince yourself to eat. It can be so meaningful to know that somebody understands you. Because when you are going through something like that, when you are trying to help yourself out of a bad situation, it can be worse. It can make things definitely a lot worse to have people who can't understand you getting angry at you and venting their anger at you, and it just hurts your mental state and makes everything worse. I personally, there is a line in this song that goes at the very end, that goes, I've been starving myself, carving skin until my bones are showing. Teach me how to be okay. I don't wanna downplay my emotions, but sometimes when you don't love yourself, there's a point you reach where you don't care how you yourself feel. Obviously, you already hate yourself. So saying that starving yourself is hurting you isn't enough of a reason to change. And you need encouragement, not anger. And I distinctly remember that as a child with my mother, that is not something that I received. I did not receive help. I did not receive encouragement. There was a period of my life in which I was exercising obsessively, like 2 times a day. I was barely eating anything, and there was just a moment where I was sitting at my kitchen table and I refused to eat because I felt so miserable and depressed. And my mom just started yelling at me. And to this day, that is one of the worst experiences of my life. But I am grateful for it because it has taught me and reminds me that when people need help, we can't respond to them in anger, though it may be a legitimate response. And you can understand being upset if someone you love is hurting themselves, then they are hurting someone that you love and value. But it's in no way beneficial to vent your anger at them. It really only makes things worse. And I feel like going through things like this in our lives help us to avoid these same mistakes and become better people in the future if you learn from them and be like, something that someone did hurt me, so I won't do this too. But it can also help to have people around you who understand, to help you know that you're not alone in this and you're not crazy or stupid or weird or unbelievable like you might believe because of the things that are said by people around you. And in times when there aren't people who understand your specific plight or what you're going through, then that is one way that music and poetry and writing can become so valuable and something that means so much to us, because even if we don't know these people personally, it's a chance to see into someone's soul and realize we're not alone. There are other people out here who hurt too.